Ready? Welcome to the kitchen of chaos. Today we are making Today we're making a beef stew, which I've made once before, but I can't remember how I did it, so I'm going to be experimenting this time. We're going to start with browning some chuck, cubed up chuck, salt, pepper, a little bit of flour. Brown it in a hot pan with some butter or olive oil or both. And then we're going to make a roux. I think I'm going to make a roux. So let's get started. Come on, man. Okay, we're just using regular old USDA choice chuck roasts. And you can get pre-cubed up stew meat, but it's usually more expensive, and it's usually just the kind of the trimmings and the bits and the crap that's left over when they make the roasts. So I usually buy roasts and then cube them up myself, because it's actually kind of fun to cut things, of course. Satisfies the primordial need to slice. So we're going to cut these in about 1 inch, well, maybe 1.5 inch, kind of big. You kind of want, I kind of like them big. So here, why don't you hold that? All right, let's see here. Kind of just make it lengthwise, about as wide as you want. Maybe another one. Like that. And cube them up. So continue as noted above until these are all chunks. So that's the kind of about the big as I like them. About like that. About 1.5 inches, I guess. Alright, turn it off. What's that one smell like? Smells like sagebrush.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's sage. So we've cubed up our 6.5 pounds of chuck, and you can do it in a bag, is what people do. They'll put a flour in a bag with the spices and shake it up, which works fine, I guess. But I'm going to do the initial seasoning on this spread out, so that it can be, I know that every piece gets some salt and pepper on it. I don't know if it really matters after you stew it, but it's just what I'm going to do. So salt, this is good Redmond salt, and lots of fresh ground cracked black pepper. And I'm going to put some rubbed sage on here. Sage is always good with whatever. And some thyme and some Cajun seasoning a little bit, just to give a little bit of something interesting. And Cajun seasoning usually has salt in it too, so yeah, just throw that in there.
Okay.
And that's some Zip, it's called. It's an organic seasoning blend that has paprika and what else does it have in it? Lots of stuff. And that'll be. And then we'll put some flour on this, I guess, and brown it in the heated up. Oh, we forgot the time. The time. Who's got the time?
Someone.
And then, so we're gonna. I think maybe I'll just flour it on this board since it's already messy. So let's do that. Some all-purpose flour. I've washed my hands since I handled the meat. If you don't feel like making a mess, you can do it in a bag. But I guess that's the whole purpose of having the bag, is so. And then I will have to wash my hands again, of course, after I do this. But that's all right. Ooh, you okay?
Yeah.
So just put some flour on here. You want the flour to help thicken the broth, and it also helps create a kind of a crust on the meat. But basically, it's going to go away when you stew it for a long time. But if you flour it, you can pretty much be sure that it's going to have some thickening agent in the meat. So that looks pretty good. And if you're going to brown something, you don't want to crowd the pan, because the beef has a lot of. Let's see if that's enough. Wait a minute, Mel. I think that's going to be enough. And we'll just do this in batches. Maybe I should use something other than my fingers. Yeah. So once you've got a good layer, you don't want to mess with it until it gets a good crust on it. So let this go for a few minutes. until it gets brown, and then we'll turn those over and continue until it's brown on all sides. Meanwhile, we're going to cut up these onions. Alright, so let's see. That's good. You want that. Another good brown, crusty crust on there, so put these over. Remember how I showed you how to hold the knife? There you go. So it doesn't twist. Alright, so this batch here is done. I'm going to remove these from the pot and put in the rest of the meat and brown it up. It's okay. No, it's okay. So that's what we're going to do, brown up the next one. And then we're going to put the onions in there, I think. We'll have to decide when we get there. Alright, so we're going to cut some red potatoes up, this size. We're just basically quarter these. That's fine. For a stew. Want these to kind of be big chunks too. And we're going to do some carrots. Can you try to find the carrots in the fridge? You can do parsnips, which I've done. If you like them, you can do turnips. You can pretty much do anything in here you want. Okay, so we're done browning the meat, and now I was going to make a roux at this point, but this pan is not going to work. It's got the brown fond on it. So let's deglaze with some horrible cooking wine. So this is going to boil and reduce, and we'll scrape up the brown bits. So now the onions are going in, and the meat is going in with all of its juice. Maybe a little bit of broth at this point. So this is beef broth, beef bouillon, works fine. Maybe let's do that much. Oh, and we need let's see if we can find a bay leaf. And oh, I forgot the garlic, for heaven's sake. You can't go without garlic. There you go. Alright, so we got some 3-4 bay leaves and about 20 cloves of garlic. Chopped, minced, pureed, if it's fine. And then this is going to go into a 350-degree oven. I've brought it to a simmer on the stove. About a 350-degree oven, and then I will check it after an hour. And then put the potatoes in, carrots in. And then cook it for another hour, I imagine. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so it's been about an hour and 10 minutes. And this looks very good. Not too watery. I'll take one of these pieces out and see if it's edible. If it is, I might just take the meat out and put the potatoes back in. It's kind of a strange way to make a stew, but I don't want the meat to get to the point where it completely disintegrates. So let me take that guy out. See what this tastes like. Yep. Yeah. Yummy and tasty. So I'm going to take the meat out and put the potatoes and the carrots back in, so the meat doesn't get overdone. Alright, that's what I'm going to do right now.